How's it going? It's Brian Soscia here with my man Cesaro. We're at WrestleMania 30. Happy to have you here. And, I'm a big fan of what you do, so it's a pleasure that you're here with me. How are you feeling today?
Thank you. I'm feeling good. I'm actually a pleasure to be here with you because, I used to live in Philly for quite a long time, and I listened to you on the radio when I was younger or just, earlier in my life.
I feel like indirectly then I had something to do with Cesaro's career. Maybe not. I don't know. Just listening and entertaining you with the downtimes when you're trying to get...
Exactly, that's just crazy to me how things work out, I listen to this guy on the radio and all of a sudden I'm doing interviews.
Well, thank you very much. I should have thanked you rather than trying to say that I had something to do with your career.
No, you actually did, it's just, it was so entertaining. I was like, I want to be like that guy one day, and now I'm here and I'm trying to be as entertaining as you.
You're doing a great job, but I really enjoy what you're up to, man. And you say Philadelphia. Let's just get started with that. You're going to tease the audience with that. So, Philadelphia, tell us about your time in Philadelphia. Where did you live? What were you into? Hangout spots?
Well, see, when I first moved to the United States, I lived in Reading, actually in a little itty bitty city outside that was called Leesport. It was like I had to have a car, which I found out pretty fast because I was like, oh, I'll just get a bike, I'll be good. I rode my bike to the gym once, and it took me like an hour and a half, and it was like through the hills and everything, and I'm a pretty good bike rider too. So, it was like a 10-minute walk to the closest neighbors, that kind of thing, a 15-minute drive to the grocery store at least. And then I moved to a little bit closer to King of Prussia, to Phoenixville for a while, which is a very, very lovely little town that has a lot of character actually. And I lived, King of Prussia. I went to the mall there a bunch of times.
He's dropping them all.
The King of Prussia mall is being dropped. And then I went to Philadelphia twice a week at least for training and shows and everything. So, yeah.
Well, that's a really cool little piece of knowledge. I mean, being in Philadelphia, did you ever get to wrestle at the world famous Bingo Hall, the ECW Arena?
I didn't just wrestle there. I trained there twice a week.
Oh, is that where you were training?
Yeah, that's where was for Chikara, and we helped and I helped train there, and I wrestled for ECW CCW there for a while, and then of course Ring of Honor ran there, and Chikara ran there. So like I was there twice, 2 to 3 times a week. And I got to wrestle, and unfortunately not the Spectrum, but like there was now it's Wells Fargo Arena, and I think the only thing I didn't do when I was in Philly, I did not go to the zoo, but I went to the museum and everything else. So.
Well, no, you're much too busy to go to the zoo. But you mentioned there, and I don't want to harp on this, but you mentioned a company like CZW. Obviously, their wrestling is not for everybody. It's not. Were you worried at the time? Because the end game, I would guess, would be to get to WWE, the biggest show on earth. Were you worried that might hurt you?
No, to me, the end game was always to, like when I came here, when I moved to the United States, I pretty much started with almost nothing. So I had to, I started from the bottom, so I had to work my way up. So any piece of work, and to me, it was always, if you want to get better, you need to perform as many times as possible. So anything I could get, I would do because my style, I knew is different, and you know what I mean. Like CCW, is more hardcore, so I never did anything like that. I just did my style, and that's what I perfected and got. People started to like, and then when I started wrestling more and more, that's what helped me because I think the more you do something, the better you get, and that's what got me here today. And that's now we're talking from WrestleMania 30, the big anniversary. That's happening in what is it now on Sunday, and we're talking about Access, and it's just a crazy journey.
Yeah, it sure is. And let's talk about your journey. So you leave your home country to come to this unknown, the great unknown. Do you come here with anybody? How does your family feel about this?
No, I came here all by myself. I had a little bit of money saved up, but not a lot, and I came with the dream to become a professional wrestler, and living the American dream, so to speak. And I left friends and family, and they were proud and excited, and also thought I was completely crazy, and now they're even more proud of me, and I think I'm still crazy.
Yeah, well, you got to be to be in this gig, you know what I mean, to get thrown around like that and stuff. But I think you're very talented and maybe a little crazy too.
Yeah, but the good thing is I usually do the throw around, so
that is true.
That's the good part.
That is true, and that's part of it too. Your freakish strength. Don't look at the questions. Your freakish
I'm not
strength.
looking at the
That's my notes. That's just because I get lost. I'm not even looked there once. Your freakish strength. Okay, I interviewed Mark Henry a while ago, and I said to him, "Who is pound for pound the strongest guy on your roster?" And I believe you were he said Cena was very strong, but he said that you are.
Cena is very strong. Sorry for interrupting you so rudely, but it's radio, so it has to go fast, right? We always talk really fast, and I can't have that radio voice yet. But what is it? The guy who reads the disclaimer at the end. I always I don't know if they speed it up or not, but okay. You know, pound for pound, the strongest. It's always different because if you look at like weights, I don't know if I am, but if you look at in-ring ability, and that's what this is all about. You know what I mean? Like we're not professional weightlifters because if you go look at those guys, you know, like even our strongest guy's number, well, Mark Henry, but even our strongest guy's number, they don't really compare because that's what they do for a living. We, for a living, perform in front of a crowd, and that's when it's important to have strength, and that's what I train for. I don't train for, you know what I mean, like certain, well, you know, like you always need to have to look, and you always need to be fit and injury-free, so that's very important to me to do, have a functional training so that I'm able to stay injury-free and perform. But the most important thing is that you're strong in the ring and that you can pull off your stuff in the ring and surprise your opponents, and I think there's nobody that can do what I can do in that ring.
Well, I don't think there is either, and I have to bow to you for bringing back, I haven't seen it in years, the giant swing.
Yes.
I'm such a big fan of that. Now, is there a record, two questions here.
Okay.
Is there a record number that you've done that you remember? And the other question is, how in the heck don't you get dizzy? Everyone asks you the same question, Stuart. Can you do moves after? How can you even know where you're at?
I'm actually know exactly where I'm at any single time in the ring, and that's, I think, another thing that's just experience. I've been doing that move for quite a long time, actually. I've been doing it before I came to WWE, and you know, the record in WWE is 29 so far. So that was, I think, Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble, and you know, I get dizzy a little bit, but it takes me like a second or two to recover, which is pretty fast. My opponent takes a little longer, and that's why the move is so awesome and effective.
It's very fair. I just figured you found like a point or something in the arena. I didn't know how you did it. Every time I watch that, I lose my mind because I get dizzy if I spin around once. So, hey, kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, as far as strength, who are your?
By the way, now he looked at his little cheat sheet.
I knew you called me out. Well, I want to see as far as strength. Look how good. That would have been seamless. As far as strength, who are your peers in the gym? Like, who are your peers? Who do you work out with? Anybody on the roster, or do by yourself?
You know, like we all do our own workout, you know. But for example, you know, like Seth Rollins, John Cena, you know, like those guys have a similar lifting schedule style, and we like the same kind of gyms. You know, like Seth Rollins, for example, he's a big CrossFitter. So, and all the CrossFit gyms, they have, you know, like Olympic lifting weights and stuff like that, which I prefer, you know, because it's very, very functional based, you know, so those would be two that are very similar, and you know, it's just it motivates you to see other people work hard at the gym, definitely.
Okay, I got it. You're there with. It's almost like you're doing your singles thing, but it's a team atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's kind of, you know, similar to what happens in WWE right now. You know, there's a fresh movement, so to speak, in WWE, and it's a very exciting time for the fans, and you see like fresh faces, and it's the same thing. You see somebody and they're doing good, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna kick it in high gear too, and it's just this competition, you know. Yeah, between all the guys, it just be like, okay, you know, you need to step up your game because you just have to, because if you see, you know, like you said, you know, with like Daniel Bryan, and then you have Shield, and then you have the Wyatt family, and it's just, you know, it's going good and crazy, and it's good. It's good. I feel like wrestling is you know, there's up and downs, and I think it's a big upcoming.
Yeah, the depth of the roster at this point, I think if you look back in history, they've had some big stars, but I think the talent depth is the best it's ever been. You know, like guys like you and everyone you just named. So it is a very exciting time to be a fan. WrestleMania 30 is going to be huge. I am looking at my notes again because I don't want to miss this one. You talk about going to battle, you know, a friendly competition. Zeb. You got to have the right tools. Zeb's with you. That guy's an excellent tool to have. What is that? Has that helped your career? Do you think it's changed your career? Do you take advice from him?
Well, you know, sometimes it's not so friendly, the competition, but you know, of course, that makes it fun for you guys to watch. And Zeb has been a great influence in my career. You know, he influenced so many people. He's been around for 4 decades. He has seen so many things. If you get a chance to interview him, I recommend it highly, because he has just stories and anecdotes from, you know, like 40 years in his career. He knows everybody. He has seen so many things, and he helped me out a whole lot.
Yeah, it definitely shows, and I think that you were always very good, but I think he helped you make that next step to get even better. At least that's what I was guessing, because he's a guy, like you said, he's been around forever. He's brilliant, and he's a guy that helped Stone Cold Steve Austin, which, this is a segue. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go.
No, you said Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, you got excited? You want to fight him or something, huh?
Oh, I'll beat him.
Oh, I see that.
Beat him too.
Let's set this match up.
See what I said?
Well, you might have a little match on your hands here because I wanted to bring up Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I think I heard him say somewhere. I know I heard him say it. You wear the tape around your thigh area. That's like a rugby thing. Am I correct?
Yeah, that is a rugby thing. Yeah.
All right. He said that you got to ditch that because I can't. I mean, he was very adamant about not standing. He loves you. He thinks you're awesome, but you can't stand that tape. What's your response to Stone Cold about that? And why do you have the tape?
Well, see, it just started as a rugby thing, but now it became kind of a trademark thing, and it's kind of like a battle thing, you know, like you put that on and go into battle. And to me, it's something also. If you want to go from a straight look point, it's also something very unique and catches people's eyes.
Okay. Well,
It also helps me, you know, when I have sweaty hands and it's hard to grab people, I can wipe my hands off. See what I'm saying? So it also has some good effects, and you know, everybody of course has their opinion. He has his, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying this is my point of looking at it. We can gladly discuss it in a squared circle.
I understand. Maybe that's why he wants you to rip that off, so he knows your hands will get sweaty. He might have a one-up you a little bit if he ever wrestles you. WrestleMania 30, Antonio Cesaro, a Philadelphia native for a moment.
For a moment, yeah.
That does make sense. I'm native for a moment. I don't think it
Well,
makes sense.
no. But see, like for example, Mark Streit is a Swiss NHL player. He plays for the Flyers. So right now I'm rooting for the Flyers as well.
There you go. All right. I like this guy more and more. So I'm very excited for your match. It's going to be a good time. WrestleMania 30, WWE Network. You can see him on there too if you want to buy it. You could order the pay-per-view too. But it is it. Trust me. And Antonio. Oh, sorry. Cesaro. I don't want to. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Be safe, and I wish you good luck.
You too. See you soon.
Thanks, bud.